You're stuck in a cycle of miscommunication and misunderstanding, constantly wondering why you can't seem to connect with others or read their intentions. Every conversation feels like a gamble, where you're never quite sure what the other person is thinking or feeling. You try to pick up on subtle cues, but often find yourself misinterpreting their body language or tone of voice. This leads to feelings of frustration, anxiety, and even isolation. You start to question your own emotional intelligence and ability to form meaningful relationships. The truth is, you're not alone in this struggle. Most people are oblivious to the subtle signals they're sending and receiving, and this lack of awareness can have devastating consequences. For instance, consider the story of Othello, who misinterpreted his wife's emotional state and ultimately led to tragic consequences. Or think about the store manager, who struggled to read the facial expressions of clients who had undergone Botox treatments, highlighting the importance of facial expressions in communication. The Art of Reading Minds by Henrik Fexeus is a book that reveals the secrets of building stronger relationships by mastering the art of reading minds, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about communication and connection. You keep failing at building meaningful connections with others, and it's leaving you feeling isolated and alone. You try to make small talk, ask questions, and show interest, but somehow you just can't seem to click with people. You've been to networking events, joined social clubs, and even tried online dating, but nothing seems to stick. You're starting to wonder if there's something fundamentally wrong with you, if you're just not cut out for this whole social thing. But here's the thing, it's not you. It's not that you're inherently uninteresting or unlikable. The problem is that you're not building rapport with others, and that's a skill that can be learned. Rapport is the foundation of effective communication, and it's essential for building trust, cooperation, and mutual understanding with others. When you're in rapport with someone, you feel like you're on the same wavelength, like you're speaking the same language. You feel seen, heard, and understood, and that's a powerful feeling. But when you're not in rapport, everything feels forced, awkward, and uncomfortable. You struggle to find common ground, to keep the conversation flowing, and to build any kind of meaningful connection. So why does this matter to you? Well, think about it. When was the last time you had a conversation that really flowed, that really felt like you were connecting with someone? When was the last time you felt like you were being truly heard and understood? If you're like most people, it's been a while. And that's because building rapport is not just about being friendly or outgoing. It's about adapting to someone else's way of communicating, finding common ground, and creating a sense of mutual understanding. Let's take a look at an example from the book. The author describes a couple in a restaurant who are completely in sync with each other. They're mirroring each other's body language, finishing each other's sentences, and laughing together like they're sharing a private joke. It's clear that they're in rapport, and it's beautiful to watch. But what's really interesting is that this kind of rapport is not just limited to romantic relationships. You can build rapport with anyone, whether it's a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. For instance, imagine you're at a networking event and you're trying to make small talk with someone. You're asking them questions, listening to their responses, and trying to find common ground. But it's just not clicking. You're feeling awkward, uncomfortable, and like you're just going through the motions. That's because you're not building rapport. You're not adapting to their way of communicating, you're not finding common ground, and you're not creating a sense of mutual understanding. But what if you could change that? What if you could walk into a room, strike up a conversation with anyone, and immediately build a sense of rapport and connection? The key is to focus on adapting to someone else's way of communicating. This means paying attention to their body language, their tone of voice, and their words. It means mirroring their posture, their gestures, and their language patterns. And it means finding common ground, whether it's a shared interest, a similar experience, or a common goal. When you do this, you create a sense of rapport and connection that's almost instantaneous. You feel like you're on the same team, like you're working together towards a common goal. As the author says, people tend to like those who are like themselves. And that's because when we're around people who are similar to us, we feel seen, heard, and understood. We feel like we're part of a tribe, like we belong, and that's a powerful feeling. So, how can you start building rapport with others? It's simpler than you think. Start by paying attention to the people around you. Notice their body language, their tone of voice, and their words. Notice what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, and what they're struggling with. And then, start to adapt. Start to mirror their posture, their gestures, and their language patterns. Start to find common ground, whether it's a shared interest or a similar experience. For example, let's say you're talking to someone who's really into hiking. You might not be into hiking yourself, but you can still find common ground by asking them about their favorite trails, their most challenging hikes, or their favorite hiking spots. You can show genuine interest, ask follow-up questions, and start to build a sense of rapport and connection. And it's not just about hobbies or interests. You can build rapport with someone by talking about their work, their family, or their goals. The key is to find something that you both care about, something that you can both relate to. Another example from the book is the story of a store manager who struggles to read the facial expressions of clients who have undergone Botox treatments. This highlights the importance of facial expressions in communication and how they can affect our ability to build rapport with others. When we can't read someone's facial expressions, it's harder to understand their emotions, their needs, and their desires. And that makes it harder to build rapport and connection. So, what happens when you start building rapport with others? What changes? Well, for one thing, you start to feel more connected, more seen, and more heard. You feel like you're part of a community, like you belong, and that's a powerful feeling. You also start to build stronger, more meaningful relationships. You're able to communicate more effectively, to resolve conflicts more easily, and to work together more seamlessly. And that's not just limited to personal relationships. When you build rapport with others, you're also more likely to succeed in your career, to build a stronger professional network, and to achieve your goals. Imagine waking up every morning, feeling confident and connected. Imagine being able to walk into a room, strike up a conversation with anyone, and immediately build a sense of rapport and connection. Imagine being able to communicate effectively, to resolve conflicts easily, and to work together seamlessly with others. That's what building rapport can do for you. It's not just about being friendly or outgoing. It's about creating a sense of mutual understanding, a sense of connection, and a sense of community. So, what can you do today to start building rapport with others? One simple thing you can do is to start paying attention to the people around you. Notice their body language, their tone of voice, and their words. Notice what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, and what they're struggling with. And then, start to adapt. Start to mirror their posture, their gestures, and their language patterns. Start to find common ground, whether it's a shared interest or a similar experience. It's a small step, but it can make a big difference. By building rapport with others, you can create a sense of connection, a sense of community, and a sense of belonging. And that's a powerful thing. Now that we've explored this powerful insight, let's move on to the next transformative learning. You keep feeling like you're missing something in your interactions with others, like you're not quite connecting on a deeper level. You try to be empathetic, to understand where they're coming from, but somehow you always seem to end up saying or doing the wrong thing. You've had conversations where you felt like you were on the same page as someone, only to realize later that you completely misread their emotional cues. This can be frustrating, especially when it happens repeatedly, and it can leave you feeling like you're just not cut out for social interactions. The truth is, understanding and responding to emotions in yourself and others is a crucial part of building strong relationships and communicating effectively. This is exactly what the concept of emotional awareness is all about. Emotional awareness is the ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others, and to use this awareness to guide your thoughts and actions. When you have high emotional awareness, you're better able to navigate social situations, build strong relationships, and communicate effectively. You're able to pick up on subtle cues, like body language and tone of voice, and use this information to inform your interactions with others. But why is emotional awareness so important? It's because emotions play a huge role in human behavior and relationships. When you're able to recognize and respond to emotions in yourself and others, you're able to establish trust, cooperation, and mutual understanding. You're able to communicate more effectively and to build stronger, more meaningful relationships. On the other hand, when you're not emotionally aware, you can end up misinterpreting others' emotional cues or failing to recognize and manage your own emotions. This can lead to all sorts of problems, from conflict and misunderstandings to feelings of isolation and disconnection. Let's take a look at an example from the story of Othello. Othello's misinterpretation of his wife's emotional state ultimately leads to tragic consequences, highlighting the importance of recognizing and responding to emotions in others. If Othello had been more emotionally aware, he might have been able to pick up on the subtle cues that his wife was trying to convey, and to respond in a way that was more empathetic and understanding. Instead, his lack of emotional awareness led him to misinterpret her emotions, with devastating results. Another example that illustrates the importance of emotional awareness is the story of the travel agent's unconscious gestures. A travel agent's unconscious gestures, such as kicking his foot toward the couple, reveal his true thoughts and intentions. This example shows how our unconscious emotions and gestures can convey just as much information as our conscious words and actions. If the couple had been more emotionally aware, they might have picked up on the travel agent's unconscious cues and been able to respond in a way that was more informed and empathetic. So, why does this matter to you? If you're like most people, you've probably had experiences where you felt like you were missing something in your interactions with others. You might have felt like you were saying or doing the wrong thing, or like you just couldn't seem to connect with someone on a deeper level. This can be frustrating, and it can leave you feeling like you're just not cut out for social interactions. But the truth is, these experiences are often the result of a lack of emotional awareness. When you're not able to recognize and respond to emotions in yourself and others, you can end up feeling like you're just not connecting, or like you're always saying or doing the wrong thing. The good news is that emotional awareness is something that can be developed and improved over time. By focusing on recognizing and responding to emotions in yourself and others, you can become more empathetic, more understanding, and more effective in your interactions with others. You can learn to pick up on subtle cues, like body language and tone of voice, and to use this information to inform your interactions with others. You can learn to recognize and manage your own emotions, and to respond to the emotions of others in a way that is more empathetic and understanding. As the quote goes, emotions are automatic mechanisms that aid in our survival and evolution. This highlights the importance of emotions in our daily lives and the need to develop emotional awareness in order to navigate social situations effectively. By developing emotional awareness, you can gain a deeper understanding of yourself and others and improve your relationships and interactions with others. Imagine being able to walk into a room and immediately sense the emotional tone of the people around you. Imagine being able to pick up on subtle cues, like body language and tone of voice, and to use this information to inform your interactions with others. Imagine being able to respond to the emotions of others in a way that is more empathetic and understanding, and to build stronger, more meaningful relationships as a result. This is what emotional awareness can do for you. When you apply the concept of emotional awareness to your daily life, you'll start to notice a significant difference in the way you interact with others. You'll be able to pick up on subtle cues and to respond in a way that is more informed and empathetic. You'll be able to build stronger, more meaningful relationships and to communicate more effectively. You'll be able to recognize and manage your own emotions and to respond to the emotions of others in a way that is more empathetic and understanding. So, what can you do to start developing emotional awareness today? One simple step you can take is to start paying attention to your own emotions and to the emotions of those around you. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on how you're feeling and to notice the emotions of those around you. Ask yourself questions like, how am I feeling right now? What emotions am I picking up on from the people around me? And how can I respond to these emotions in a way that is more empathetic and understanding? By taking this simple step, you can start to develop emotional awareness and to improve your relationships and interactions with others. Remember, developing emotional awareness is a process that takes time and practice, but it's worth it in the end. By focusing on recognizing and responding to emotions in yourself and others, you can become more empathetic, more understanding, and more effective in your interactions with others. With that understanding in place, let's dive into another crucial insight from the book. You keep trying to influence others, to get them to see things from your perspective, but it feels like you're hitting a brick wall every time. You've tried being more persuasive, using all the right words, and yet you still can't seem to get through to them. It's frustrating, isn't it? You feel like you're wasting your time, like you're not being heard. And it's not just about getting what you want, It's about building stronger relationships, about being able to communicate effectively with others. But how do you do that when it feels like your words are falling on deaf ears? The truth is, you're not alone in this struggle. Many of us have been there, trying to influence others without really understanding how to do it effectively. But what if you could change that? What if you could learn how to use suggestion and influence in a way that builds trust, cooperation, and mutual understanding with others? That's exactly what we're going to explore, using the powerful insights from The Art of Reading Minds by Henrik Fexeus. By understanding how to use suggestion and influence responsibly and ethically, you can start to build stronger relationships, achieve your goals, and communicate more effectively with others. So let's dive into the core concept. Suggestion and influence can be powerful tools for shaping behavior, but they must be used responsibly and ethically. You see, when you use suggestion and influence, you're not just trying to get someone to do something. You're trying to create a mental image, a thought, or a feeling that will guide their behavior. It's like planting a seed in someone's mind, and with the right nurturing, that seed can grow into a powerful force that drives their actions. But why does this matter to you? Well, think about it. Every time you try to persuade someone, every time you try to influence their behavior, you're using suggestion and influence. And if you're not doing it effectively, you're not just wasting your time, you're also potentially damaging your relationships. Let's take a simple example. Have you ever noticed how sometimes, when someone tells you not to think of something, you can't help but think of it? Like when someone says, "Don't think of a blue polar bear," what's the first thing that pops into your mind? That's right, it's a blue polar bear. This is the power of suggestion at work. By telling you not to think of something, the person is actually creating a mental image in your mind, even if they didn't intend to. And this is exactly what happens when you use negations in your language, like saying don't or won't. You're creating a suggestion in the other person's mind, and that suggestion can be incredibly powerful. Another example that illustrates this point is the use of negations in advertising. You've probably seen ads that say things like, "This product is not like others," or "Don't settle for less." What are these ads doing? They're using suggestion and influence to create a sense of distinction or uniqueness in your mind. By telling you what the product is not, they're creating a mental image of what it is, and that mental image can be very persuasive. So, why does this matter to you? Well, think about all the times you've been influenced by advertising, all the times you've bought something because of a clever ad. That's the power of suggestion and influence at work. Now, let's look at a more personal example. Imagine you're trying to convince a friend to try a new restaurant with you. You've been wanting to go there for weeks, but your friend is hesitant. So, you start telling them all about the great reviews, the delicious food, and the cozy atmosphere. But instead of saying, "You'll love it," you say, "You might be surprised at how much you enjoy it." What are you doing? You're using suggestion and influence to create a mental image in your friend's mind, an image that's positive and inviting. And by using the phrase, "You might be surprised," you're creating a sense of curiosity, a sense of possibility that can be very persuasive. As you can see, suggestion and influence are all around us, shaping our behavior and guiding our decisions. And when you understand how to use them effectively, you can start to build stronger relationships, achieve your goals, and communicate more effectively with others. So, what changes when you apply this learning? For one thing, you'll start to notice how suggestion and influence are used all around you, in advertising, in conversations, and even in your own thoughts. You'll become more aware of the mental images you're creating, and you'll start to use language in a more intentional way. You'll be able to persuade others more effectively, and you'll be able to build trust and cooperation with those around you. Imagine waking up every morning, feeling confident in your ability to communicate with others, to influence their behavior, and to build strong relationships. Imagine being able to navigate difficult conversations with ease, to persuade others without being pushy or aggressive. That's what's possible when you understand the power of suggestion and influence. You'll be able to achieve your goals more easily, to build a stronger network of supportive relationships, and to communicate more effectively with those around you. So, what can you do to start using suggestion and influence more effectively? Here's a simple action you can take today. The next time you're in a conversation, try using positive language instead of negative language. Instead of saying don't or won't, try saying do or can. see how it feels, see how the other person responds. You might be surprised at the difference it makes. And as you practice using suggestion and influence in a more intentional way, you'll start to notice the power it has to shape behavior, to build relationships, and to achieve your goals. So, take that first step today and start using the power of suggestion and influence to transform your life. Now let's turn our attention to the final key learning that can truly change how you approach this. You've been in situations where you felt like you've said all the right words, but somehow the other person just didn't seem to get it. You've tried to convey your message clearly, but it's as if there's an invisible barrier preventing true understanding. Ever noticed how, despite your best efforts, you still struggle to build strong, meaningful relationships or achieve your goals in personal and professional settings? It's frustrating, isn't it? You feel like you're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to connect with others on a deeper level. This feeling of disconnection and misunderstanding stems from a fundamental aspect of human interaction that often goes unnoticed: body language and nonverbal communication. The way you move your body, the expressions on your face, and even the way you maintain eye contact can either reinforce or contradict the words you're saying. It's astonishing how often we overlook these nonverbal cues, isn't it? We focus so much on what we're saying that we forget the rest of our body is also communicating. This oversight can lead to missed opportunities, strained relationships, and a general feeling of being stuck. Understanding the importance of body language and nonverbal communication can be a game changer. It's not just about recognizing these cues in others, it's also about being aware of what your own body is saying. When you grasp this concept, you'll begin to see interactions in a whole new light. You'll realize why sometimes your words fall flat, despite your best intentions. It's because your body language and nonverbal communication are speaking louder than your words. This is why learning about body language and nonverbal cues is so crucial. It's the key to unlocking more effective communication, building trust, and fostering deeper connections with those around you. Let's dive deeper into this concept. Think about the last time you had a conversation that felt truly engaging. Chances are, the other person was not only listening to your words, but also responding to your nonverbal cues. They might have mirrored your body language, maintained eye contact, or used facial expressions to show they were interested. These actions, often subconscious, create a sense of rapport and understanding. On the other hand, when these cues are misaligned, it can lead to confusion and disconnection. You've probably experienced this in meetings, negotiations, or even personal conversations where everything seemed right on the surface, but something just didn't click. The EAC model, for instance, is a fascinating tool that can help you decipher what's going on in someone's mind based on their eye movements. It suggests that the direction of a person's gaze can indicate what kind of thought they're having, whether it's visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. This knowledge can be incredibly powerful in building rapport and understanding. Imagine being able to tell, just by looking at someone's eyes, whether they're recalling a memory, imagining a future scenario, or simply listening to their internal dialogue. It's not about manipulating others, but about being more empathetic and understanding in your interactions. Another compelling example is the pendulum demonstration, which can amplify unconscious muscle reactions to provide answers to questions. This technique, while it may seem unconventional, highlights the profound impact of nonverbal communication on our conscious decisions. By recognizing and influencing these unconscious reactions, you can gain insights into your own thoughts and feelings, as well as those of others. It's a tool that can help you navigate complex social situations with more awareness and sensitivity. The psychology behind body language and nonverbal communication is rooted in the idea that thoughts have a physical impact on the body. This means that every thought, no matter how fleeting, can manifest in some physical form, be it a twitch, a change in posture, or a fleeting expression. By becoming more attuned to these physical manifestations, you can better understand yourself and others. It's about recognizing that every interaction is a two-way street, where both verbal and nonverbal cues are constantly being exchanged. Consider a situation where you're trying to negotiate a deal or persuade someone to see things from your perspective. If your body language conveys confidence and openness, you're more likely to build trust and achieve your goals. On the other hand, if your nonverbal cues betray nervousness or insincerity, you might find yourself facing resistance. It's not just about being aware of these cues, it's about learning how to control and use them to your advantage. The transformation that occurs when you apply this knowledge is profound. You start to see the world in a different light, where every interaction becomes an opportunity to connect on a deeper level. You become more empathetic, more understanding, and more effective in your communication. Imagine being able to diffuse tense situations with a simple gesture or build rapport with someone you've just met. It's not about manipulating others, it's about being more authentic and present in your interactions. When you master the art of body language and nonverbal communication, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You'll find that relationships become easier to navigate, professional meetings become more productive, and personal interactions become more fulfilling. It's about creating a harmony between what you say and what your body says, ensuring that your message is conveyed clearly and effectively. So, what can you do today to start solving this problem of miscommunication and disconnection? Begin by becoming more aware of your own body language and nonverbal cues. Take a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness, focusing on your breath and your physical presence. Notice how you stand, how you move your eyes, and how you use your facial expressions. This simple act of awareness can be the first step towards transforming your interactions and building stronger, more meaningful relationships. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery and improvement, remember that it's okay to start small. You don't need to overhaul your entire approach to communication overnight. Just by acknowledging the importance of body language and nonverbal cues, you've taken the first step towards a more empathetic, more connected you. So, take that first step today and watch how it can change everything for you. Let's continue with the next important learning. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you completely misread the other person? Maybe you thought they were interested in what you had to say, but it turns out they were just being polite. Or perhaps you assumed they were on the same page as you, only to discover that they had entirely different intentions. These kinds of misunderstandings can lead to frustration, conflict, and even damaged relationships. You might find yourself wondering, why can't I just understand what's going on in their head? Or, why do I always seem to misinterpret what they're trying to communicate? The truth is, you're not alone in this struggle. Many of us struggle to truly understand others, and it's not because we're not trying. It's because we're not equipped with the right tools to read people accurately. We might pick up on some subtle cues, but we often miss the deeper signals that reveal what's really going on beneath the surface. This is where the concept of mind reading comes in, not in the sense of having some kind of supernatural ability, but rather in developing a tangible skill that allows you to understand how thought processes affect the body and behavior. By mastering this skill, you can build stronger, more meaningful relationships in all areas of your life. Imagine being able to navigate complex social situations with ease, knowing exactly how to approach someone to get the outcome you want. Imagine being able to diffuse tense conflicts by understanding the underlying emotions and needs of the other person. This is what's possible when you develop your mind reading skills. So, why does this matter to you? Well, think about all the times you've struggled to connect with someone, whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, or a colleague. Think about all the misunderstandings and miscommunications that have led to frustration and conflict. By developing your mind reading skills, you can start to break down these barriers and build more authentic, meaningful relationships. You'll be able to pick up on subtle cues, understand underlying motivations, and respond in a way that's tailored to the other person's needs. Let's take a look at a few examples from the book, The Art of Reading Minds by Henrik Fexeus. One of the most compelling examples is the living room demonstration, where the reader is asked to visualize their living room, imagine the chorus of their favorite song, and remember what it feels like to take a shower. This exercise might seem simple, but it reveals the powerful connection between our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. By tapping into this connection, you can start to develop your own mind reading skills and build stronger relationships with others. Another example that stands out is the concealed object trick, where a person is asked to conceal a small object in one of their hands, and the author uses subtle physical changes and suggestion to determine which hand the object is in. This trick might seem like magic, but it's actually based on a deep understanding of human psychology and behavior. By studying the subtle cues and signals that people give off, you can start to develop your own skills in reading minds and building stronger relationships. As you start to develop your mind reading skills, you'll begin to notice the profound impact it has on your relationships. You'll be able to navigate complex social situations with ease, build deeper connections with others, and even improve your communication skills. You'll start to understand why people do what they do, and you'll be able to respond in a way that's tailored to their needs. This is the power of mind reading. It's not just a party trick or a clever technique, but a deeper understanding of human psychology and behavior. So, what becomes possible when you develop your mind reading skills? Imagine being able to walk into a room and instantly sense the mood and atmosphere. Imagine being able to connect with someone on a deep level, understanding their underlying motivations and desires. Imagine being able to navigate complex conflicts and negotiations with ease, knowing exactly how to approach each person to get the outcome you want. This is what's possible when you develop your mind reading skills. To start developing your mind reading skills, focus on mastering the techniques and concepts presented in the book, such as unconscious learning, rapport building, and using the toolbox of techniques provided. Start by practicing these skills in low-stakes situations, such as conversations with friends or family members. As you become more confident, you can start to apply these skills in more challenging situations, such as negotiations or conflicts. Remember, the key is to start small and build gradually. Don't try to tackle everything at once. One simple action you can take today is to practice active listening in your next conversation. Instead of just hearing the words, try to tune in to the underlying emotions and needs of the other person. Ask yourself, what are they really trying to say? Or, what's driving their behavior? By doing so, you'll start to develop your mind reading skills and build stronger, more meaningful relationships with others. When you do this, you'll notice a profound shift in the way you interact with others. You'll be more empathetic, more understanding, and more effective in your communication. So, take the first step today and start developing your mind reading skills. You never know where it might lead you. As we've explored in The Art of Reading Minds by Henrik Fexeus, the journey to understanding and influencing human behavior is both fascinating and complex. So, what does all this mean? Let's bring this all together to see how the pieces fit into a cohesive framework for building stronger relationships and achieving our goals. Remember, the power of rapport is the foundation upon which all effective communication is built, allowing us to adapt to others and build trust and cooperation. When you combine this with emotional awareness, you can navigate social interactions with empathy and understanding, recognizing and responding to emotions in yourself and others. By applying the power of suggestion and influence, you can shape behavior in a responsible and ethical manner, strengthening your relationships and achieving your objectives. Furthermore, being mindful of body language and nonverbal communication enables you to decode and encode messages more effectively, fostering deeper connections. And at the heart of it all, the skill of mind reading, developed through understanding how thought processes affect the body and behavior, allows you to connect with others on a profound level. Together, these insights give you a comprehensive system for understanding human behavior and building stronger, more meaningful relationships. The difference between who you are now and who you want to become isn't about massive overnight changes. It's about understanding these principles and applying them consistently, one small step at a time. Success in building stronger relationships and influencing positive change in those around you isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey of learning, adapting, and growing. With these insights from The Art of Reading Minds, you now have the map to navigate this journey with more empathy, influence, and understanding. If this summary gave you valuable insights into the art of reading minds and how to apply these skills in your life, hit that like button and subscribe for more book summaries like this. And let me know in the comments, which of these key learnings resonated with you most, and how do you plan to apply them in your personal or professional life? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next summary, where we'll dive into another powerful book that can change your perspective and empower your actions.